There was a time in my life when fear had me completely stuck. I knew what I needed to do. I could see the opportunities right in front of me. But every single time I tried to take action, that little voice in my head whispered, "What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if people judge you?" And just like that, fear won. I stayed in the same place, watching my dreams slip further and further away. Sound familiar? Maybe you felt it too. The hesitation, the doubt, the overthinking that paralyzes you.
You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, next week, next year.
Give her up. But let me ask you this: how much longer are you willing to let fear hold you back from the life you truly want? Here's the truth: fear isn't the enemy, staying stuck is. And today, I'm going to show you a simple science backed trick. One that takes just 3 seconds to override fear and propel you into action. No more excuses, no more waiting. It's time to take control of your life. Are you ready? Fear is one of the most powerful forces in our lives. It has the ability to stop us in our tracks, keep us from taking risks, and make us believe that we're not capable of the things we dream about. But here's the truth most people don't realize: fear is just a feeling, it's not a fact. And when you truly understand this, you take back control over your life. Think about the last time you felt afraid to do something. Maybe it was speaking up in a meeting, starting that business, making a difficult phone call, or taking a step toward a goal you've been putting off. The fear felt real, didn't it? Your heart started pounding, your mind raced with worst case scenarios, and suddenly you convinced yourself it was better to stay put. But what was the actual danger? Were you being chased by a lion? Was your life in immediate peril? No. What you felt was psychological fear, the kind that's rooted in doubt, uncertainty, and the possibility of failure. Your brain interpreted an uncomfortable situation as a threat, and before you even realized it, fear took over. This happens because the human brain is designed to keep us safe. Thousands of years ago, fear was a survival mechanism. It kept our ancestors from walking into the path of a predator. It alerted them to real, life threatening danger. But in today's world, we're not running from wild animals, we're running from discomfort. What? We're running from the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, the fear of failing in front of others. And the problem with this? Most of the things we're afraid of will never actually harm us. That's why fear is just a feeling, it's not reality. It's a signal, not a stop sign. Oh, wow. And the sooner you learn to separate fear from actual danger, the sooner you'll start taking action in your life. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine two people standing at the edge of a diving board, looking down at the water. One person hesitates, their mind flooding with fear. What if I hit the water wrong? What if I look stupid? What if I panic? The other person, without overthinking, takes a deep breath and jumps. The same situation, the same risk, but two completely different reactions. What made the difference? The first person let fear become a fact. They believed their anxious thoughts were true and let them dictate their actions. The second person understood that fear is normal, but it doesn't mean you stop. It means you push forward anyway. This is where everything changes. If you start seeing fear for what it really is, just a temporary feeling, not a permanent truth, you stop giving it so much power. You stop waiting for fear to go away before taking action, and you start moving despite it. Now, let's be clear. I'm not saying fear will magically disappear. It won't. You'll still feel it when you try something new, when you step outside your comfort zone, when you put yourself out there. But here's the key: you don't need to get rid of fear to move forward. You just need to stop obeying it. Fear will whisper that you're not ready. Do it anyway. Fear will tell you that you might fail. Take the risk anyway.
Fear will try to keep you comfortable. Push past it anyway, because every time you choose action over fear, you weaken its grip.
You train your brain to see fear, acknowledge it, and move forward anyway. And that's how you take back control. One decision, one action, one step at a time. So the next time you feel fear creeping in, remember this: fear is just a feeling, not a fact. It's not a wall. It's not an unbreakable barrier. It's a test, a challenge to see if you'll let it win or if you'll move forward despite it. And the choice, that's yours. There's a moment right before you take action when fear grips you the hardest. It's that split second when you hesitate and your brain starts flooding with reasons why you shouldn't move forward. You feel the resistance, you start overthinking. And before you know it, you've talked yourself out of it. Maybe you're about to speak up in a meeting, but then you told yourself, what if it's a dumb idea? Maybe you wanted to introduce yourself to someone important, but your mind whispered, they probably don't want to talk to me. And maybe you plan to start that project, make that call, or take that risk. But the longer you sat there thinking about it, the more reasons you found to wait. This is how fear works. It's sneaky. It doesn't stop you with a loud, dramatic no. It stops you with hesitation, with doubt, with small, quiet thoughts that seem harmless at first. But within seconds, they have you completely frozen. That's why you can't give your brain time to talk you out of it. You have to act before fear takes over. You have to cut off overthinking at the source. And the simplest, most effective way to do that, the 3-second rule. Here's how it works. The moment you feel fear creeping in, the second you start hesitating, you count down 3. And on a go, you physically move before your brain can stop you. Stand up, walk forward, dial the number, say the words, do something, anything. It forces your body into action before fear has a chance to settle in. Why does this work? Because fear lives in the space between thought and action. The longer you think about something, the more time your brain has to come up with excuses. But when you shorten that gap, when you move before your thoughts take over, you bypass fear entirely. Think about the last time you jumped into a cold pool. If you stood on the edge thinking about how cold the water would be, you probably hesitated. You might have even convinced yourself not to do it. But if you just counted down and jumped, you didn't give yourself time to back out. You acted first and your brain followed. This is the exact same concept. Your brain follows your body's lead. When you physically move, your brain doesn't have time to analyze all the ways things could go wrong. It shifts into action mode instead of doubt mode. And this isn't just a motivational trick. It's backed by science. The brain operates in 2 modes, thinking and doing. Thinking mode is where hesitation, doubt, and fear live. But the moment you shift into action by moving, speaking, or doing, the brain switches gears. You override fear with momentum. The best part? You can use this trick for anything. Want to speak up? 3, 2, 1. Raise your hand. Need to make a tough call. 3, 2, 1. Dial the number. Hesitating to send that email. 3, 2, 1. Hit send. Struggling to get out of bed in the morning. 3, 2, 1, throw off the covers. The more you do this, the more you rewire your brain. You stop letting fear dictate your decision. You train yourself to take action before fear has a chance to creep in. And over time, you become someone who moves forward, who doesn't get stuck in hesitation, who doesn't overthink, who doesn't let fear win. Now, will this feel uncomfortable at first? Absolutely. Your brain will fight back. It will try to convince you to stay in your comfort zone, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. Because here's the truth. Courage isn't something you wait for. It's something you create through action. Most people think they need to feel ready before they take action. They wait for confidence, for motivation, for some magical moment when fear disappears. But that moment never comes. Fear doesn't go away first. Action comes first. Fear fades after. And that's why this 3-second trick is so powerful. It forces you to take action before your feelings stop you. It shifts you from hesitation to momentum. And momentum is everything, because once you start moving, you keep moving. So the next time you feel yourself hesitating, don't overthink. Don't give fear time to take over. Count down. Move and watch how fast everything changes. Your mind is powerful, but it's also a trickster. It will come up with a million reasons why you shouldn't do something uncomfortable. It will remind you of past failures, make you doubt yourself, and convince you that waiting is the best option. This is why so many people stay stuck. They think they need to change their thoughts before they take action. But here's something most people don't realize. Your body moves first, and your mind follows. Think about it. Claudette. Have you ever forced yourself to smile when you were feeling down, and somehow after a few minutes, you actually felt a little better? That's not a coincidence. Science has proven that physical movement directly impacts our emotions and thoughts In other words, when you change what you do physically, you can literally change how you feel mentally. This is why sitting still in fear or hesitation only makes things worse. The longer you stay frozen, the stronger fear gets. Your mind will keep playing the same negative thoughts on repeat, making it harder and harder to break free. But the moment you move, when you physically do something, you interrupt that cycle. You shift your brain out of fear mode and into action mode. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine you're about to give an important presentation, but your nerves are out of control. Your heart is pounding, your hands are sweaty, and your mind is racing with thoughts like, what if I mess up? What if I forget what to say? What if everyone thinks I'm terrible? If you sit there overthinking, your anxiety will only grow stronger. But what happens if instead you stand up, roll your shoulders back, take a deep breath, and walk around the room? Suddenly, your body is signaling confidence, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. And within seconds, your thoughts start shifting. You feel more in control. You feel more capable. Not because you convinced yourself with positive thinking, but because your body led the way. This applies to everything. If you're feeling stuck in procrastination, physically get up and move, even if it's just walking to another room or stretching your arms. If you're feeling anxious before a tough conversation, take deep, controlled breaths to calm your nervous system before you start speaking. If you're doubting yourself before making a bold decision, adopt a strong, open posture instead of slouching and hesitation. Every single time, your body will send signals to your brain that say, we're doing this, we're moving forward, and your mind will adjust accordingly. But here's the part most people get wrong. They wait until they feel ready before they move. They think I'll speak up when I feel more confident. I'll start my business when I feel more prepared. I'll take action when I feel motivated. But confidence, preparation, and motivation don't come first. Action comes first. The feelings follow. Have you ever noticed that after you take the first step, whether it's making the first call, writing the first sentence, or taking the first deep breath, you suddenly feel more capable? That's because action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. The hardest part of doing anything is starting. But once you start moving, the resistance fades. Your mind stops doubting because your body's already made the decision. This is why small physical actions are so powerful. If you're struggling to get out of bed, throw the covers off before your brain tells you to hit snooze. If you're afraid to approach someone, take a step toward them before your mind convinces you to stay put. If you're overwhelmed by a big project, just open your laptop and type one sentence. Tiny actions create massive shifts because once your body is in motion, your brain has no choice but to follow. And here's the best part. The more you do this, the stronger your confidence becomes. Over time, your brain learns that fear doesn't mean stop. It means move. It means take the first step, no matter how small, and trust that the rest will follow. So the next time fear tells you to wait, to hesitate, to overthink, don't listen. Move first. Let your body lead. And watch how quickly your mind catches up. Fear is uncomfortable. There's no way around. The moment you step outside your comfort zone, your brain goes into overdrive, sending signals that scream, turn back. This is too risky. Stay where it's safe. And for most people, that's exactly what happens. They retreat. They choose comfort over courage. And in doing so, they miss out on opportunities, growth, and the life they truly want. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Discomfort is the price of growth. You cannot change, improve, or achieve anything meaningful without experiencing some level of discomfort. Think about anything you've ever accomplished in your life. Learning to walk as a baby, you fell over and over again. Learning to ride a bike, you probably scraped your knees. Trying something new at work, you felt awkward and uncertain at first, but did you quit? No, you pushed through. And because of that, you grew. That same principle applies to everything. Growth and discomfort are inseparable. You cannot become stronger, smarter, or more successful by staying in your comfort zone. The people who achieve incredible things in life aren't fearless. They've simply trained themselves to tolerate discomfort. Most people assume that when they feel fear, doubt, or nervousness, it's a sign that they should stop, that they're not ready, that something is wrong. But that's the biggest lie fear tells you. Discomfort doesn't mean stop. It means go. It means you're doing something that matters. Look at elite athletes. Do you think they enjoy waking up at 5 a.m. to train? Do you think they love pushing their bodies to exhaustion? No, But they understand that discomfort is part of the process. They push through because they know that's how they get stronger. Look at successful entrepreneurs. Do you think they felt confident when they launched their first business? Do you think they knew for sure it would work? No, but they took action anyway, knowing that uncertainty and discomfort were necessary steps toward success. The same applies to you. If you're serious about growing, about achieving something bigger, about becoming the person you were meant to be, you have to stop avoiding discomfort and start embracing it. The next time you feel fear creeping in, ask yourself, is this fear because I'm in actual danger, or is it just discomfort? Because 99% of the time, it's just discomfort. And discomfort won't kill you, but staying stuck will. So, how do you build a tolerance for discomfort? You practice. You expose yourself to it again and again until your brain realizes that discomfort isn't a threat. It's a signal of growth. Start small. Better at reach. If you're afraid of speaking up in meetings, challenge yourself to say one sentence. If the thought of networking makes you nervous, start by introducing yourself to one person. If you're hesitant to launch your big idea, take one small step today. Send an email, make a plan, take action. Every time you push through discomfort, you build resilience, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. And the more you do it, the less fear controls you. Because here's the reality: discomfort never goes away, but you get stronger. You've already done this in your life without even realizing it. And think about your first day at a new job. You probably felt awkward, unsure, maybe even a little intimidated. But after a few weeks, it got easier, not because the job changed, but because you adapted. Your comfort zone expanded. That's exactly how growth works. Every time you lean into discomfort instead of running from it, your confidence grows. You become the kind of person who takes action despite fear. And eventually, the things that once terrified you become second nature. Most people never reach their full potential because they choose comfort over courage. They let fear stop them instead of pushing through it. But the life you want, the opportunities, the success, the freedom, it's on the other side of discomfort. So the next time fear tells you to turn back, remind yourself this isn't danger, it's just discomfort. And discomfort is the price of growth. Push through, keep moving, and watch yourself become unstoppable. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start when I'm ready? Or I just need to feel more confident first. Maybe you've been waiting for the perfect timing, the right circumstances, or a moment when fear magically disappears. But here's the truth: that moment will never come. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you'll be waiting forever. Because fear, doubt, and uncertainty don't disappear before you take action, they disappear because you take action. The only way to create confidence is by doing the thing that scares you. The only way to build momentum is by starting before you feel ready. Look at anyone who has ever achieved something significant. Whether it's launching a business, writing a book, stepping onto a stage, or taking a risk in their personal life, do you think they all felt ready when they started? But they understood something most people don't. Waiting kills dreams. Action builds them. Think about the times in your life when you did something that scared you. Maybe it was your first day at a new job, a tough conversation you had to have, or a leap of faith you took. At that moment, you probably felt unprepared, nervous, maybe even terrified. But you did it anyway. And once you did, you realized it wasn't as impossible as you thought. That's how growth happens. You take the leap and the net appears, not the other way around. But most people never get to experience this because they stay stuck in preparation mode. They convince themselves they need to gather more information, take more courses, or wait until the timing is perfect. But what they're really doing is procrastinating out of fear. The perfect time will never exist. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be fear. And the longer you wait, the stronger your excuses become. So what's the solution? You start now, before you're ready, before you feel confident, before you have all the answers. If you've been thinking about starting a business, take the first small step today. Create the website. Make the call. Put something out into the world. If you want to become a better speaker, raise your hand today. Speak up in a meeting.
Speak up in a meeting. Practice in front of a mirror. Say one sentence out loud.
If you've been waiting to pursue a goal, stop overthinking and just begin. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. Because once you take action, something incredible happens. Momentum kicks in. You see, inaction creates more inaction. The longer you sit in hesitation, the harder it is to move, but action creates more action. The moment you take one small step, it gets easier to take the next. And before you know it, you're moving forward faster than you ever thought possible. It's like pushing a car. If a car is sitting still, it takes a lot of effort to get it rolling. But once it starts moving, even a small push keeps it going. Your goals work the same way. Hardest part is getting started, but once you do, you build momentum. And here's the best part. You don't need to take massive action right away. You just need to take the first step. People often look at successful individuals and think they had some special advantage, that they had more resources, more confidence, or more certainty when they started. But in reality, most of them were just like you. The only difference, they started before they felt ready. Think about it. Every author started with a blank page. Every entrepreneur started with an idea. Every athlete started as a beginner. Nobody starts as an expert. They become one because they start. So if you've been waiting for the right time, this is it. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is your sign. Because the longer you wait, the more chances you miss. And every day you don't take action is a day you could have been making progress. So stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Take the first step. Do it now.